human origin. So talk us through why you think the final option is the most likely.
Sure. This was actually one of the fundamental questions we were trying to solve while in the Pentagon. The first obvious question is it one of our secret technologies? And the answer is quite succinctly no. And how do we know that? Well, for several reasons. First of all, I had access to all those programs, and those type of programs, you don't typically test these type of secret aircraft in and around areas where you're doing active maneuvers. You tend to test them at secret test ranges like Area 51. And you certainly don't endanger pilots' lives by testing this type of secret technology without coordinating that through our joint staff. So we very quickly realized it wasn't our technology. The second option, as Charlie you mentioned, is it foreign adversarial technology? Is it Russian? Is it Chinese? And of course, when you go through the historical documentation, certainly in our country, and this documentation is official documentation, one realizes very quickly we've been seeing this technology for decades. And when you compare that to where we were, let's say, in the late 1940s and 50s, we were just exploring and learning the secrets of the atom. We were unlocking its secrets. We had just entered the jet age, and we hadn't even been into space. And yet these technologies were outperforming anything and everything that we have. So if this was some sort of foreign adversarial technology that's been around for 70 years, this would be considered probably the worst intelligence failure my country has ever experienced, perhaps even eclipsing that of 9/11 on an order of magnitude. So the last option is, well, if it's not our technology and it's not some sort of foreign adversarial technology, then whose or what is it? And that's where we are now in the conversation, certainly with our lawmakers and our legislative branch and our executive branch. And so that's precisely what we're trying to figure out now is what exactly are these if they're not ours?
So what's the most persuasive documented UAP encounter that you can talk about?
Sure. First of all, it's a great question.
Claptrap. Utter claptrap, people. Good morning all. Today is the 26th of May, and my name is James Welsh, and I am the author of this book here, Corroborating Evidence, the UFO Investigation of the Millennium, first published on July 8th, 2014. Now, a lot has happened since I first published Corroborating Evidence, and it would appear that I never even put a dent in matters. But then we've got little Louis here coming along with his hand gestures and his spew about the current state of play with the lawmakers and executive branches is that they are still trying to determine the origin of UAPs. That's fascinating. Hold on, should we just listen to you and say that? Hear you say that again? Let's just hear you say that again, just so we can clarify that we don't misquote you.
1940s and 50s, we were just exploring and learning the secrets of the atom. We were unlocking its secrets. We had just entered the jet age, and we hadn't even been into space. And yet these technologies were outperforming anything and everything that we have. So if this was some sort of foreign adversarial technology that's been around for 70 years, this would be considered probably the worst intelligence failure my country has ever experienced, perhaps even eclipsing that of 9/11 on an order of magnitude. So the last option is, well, if it's not our technology and it's not some sort of foreign adversarial technology, then whose or what is it? And that's where we are now in the conversation, certainly with our lawmakers and our legislative branch and our executive branch. And so that's precisely what we're trying to figure out now is what exactly are these if they're not ours?
So what's the most
That's exactly what we're trying to figure out just now. What exactly are these if they're not ours? Well, hello, yeah, hi, maybe I could help. My name's James Welsh, and I had all these experiences that led me to go on and write and research this book over the course of 14 years. But another 8 years have passed since publishing that book, and I have found out a lot more information, Lewis. And it goes against everything you say, son. It goes against everything that I say. So you're out talking, you're out doing your big world tour of the UFO community, and you've got your wee book in the works. So there's a bidding war for your book. Oh, let's give this guy money so they can dispel even more disinformation into the UFO community. Can't wait. Excellent. So according to this former Pentagon official, the current state of play with the lawmakers and executive branch is that they are still trying to determine the origins of these things. Nice one, Louis. Well done. I just don't know what to say to that. I'm pumped for you. Great. Maybe I can help you. Maybe I can say, well, they're not ours, and they're theirs. Hello, they're theirs. So I'm no some guy running about with a skip hat on and pretending to be patriotic and transparent with everyone, because you don't understand what has happened in the UFO community. This carry on with Tom DeLonge and the Gateway to the Stars, or whatever it is they called themselves, to the Stars Academy, and he went and worked with them, and then suddenly it makes him a bona fide legit person, does it? Okay, so that's the story about Lewis, who apparently worked at the Pentagon trying to figure this out between 2008 and 2017, couldn't figure it out, and then all these years later, here we are in 2022, and they still cannot figure it out. So, put me, will be Louis, in a room with 2 chairs and a camera on us, and let us debate this, and we will see what the Pentagon knows, and I will show him his arse. I'm sorry, Lewis, but you come across as a nice guy, you come across very professional, serious and all that jazz, but I know who you work for, mate, and I know what your job is, and your job is to create lots of mist around this subject, and make it all mysterious and not nuts and bolts fucking craft with genuine bona fide alien entities. No, we don't want to be talking about that. We're still trying to figure out what it is. Even though this happened in 1999, and before that there was also alien interaction on STS-61, and I can go even further back than that now and take you right back to 1990 and tell you that there was alien interaction on STS-31. So far, thanks to Martin Stubbs, who previously collected a hell of a lot of information, we know that there was a lot of involvement with alien activity on other NASA missions. But I personally have found evidence now on STS-31, STS-61, STS-103 and STS-125, and every one of them shares one thing in common, and that is Hubble. So, Lewis is talking nonsense, and all this jazz about this is the current state of play with our lawmakers and our executive branch still trying to determine what are these things if they're not ours. Come on, Lewis, this happened in 1999, mate. Get with the programme. You didn't expect me to come into the woodwork. So I've just destroyed everything you've said, sitting on Mars. So there you go. sitting in my arse and you're floored, mate. I don't know what else to say.